Good afternoon, I'm Jess De Los Santos. This is One News Now. LTFRB Chairperson Cheloy Garafil has resigned from her post and will transfer to the Office of the Press Secretary as officer in charge. Garafil said she tendered her resignation today and has accepted the offer to become Press Undersecretary. She also thanked President Bongbong Marcos for the opportunity to serve under a different office. The president earlier said the 3 names are being vetted for the press secretary post. A formal announcement on the matter is expected next week. The Marcos administration is looking to borrow $500 million from foreign sources, marking its debut in the international debt market. Here's the report.
The Marcos administration debuts in the international debt market as it seeks to borrow at least $500 million from foreign sources through a dollar-denominated bond offering. The government sold $2 billion with the issuance of bonds with tenors of 5 years and 10.5 years, as well as a 25-year green or sustainability bond. Proceeds of the bonds will be used for budget financing and for climate change and sustainable development efforts. Speaking to Radio 5's Ted Filon and DJ Chacha, Ateneo Economics Professor Alvin Ang says he is confident that the borrowing plan is part of the Finance Department's strategy to further boost economic recovery.
Ngayon kasi ang utang natin karamihan nasa mga 60 to 70% local eh. Pero may mga pagkakataon na kailangan mong umutang sa international sapagkat yun nga, kaya tayo naging credit worthy, mataas yung rating natin. Para yan ay magamit natin kung kailangan.
The Economist adds that it's impossible for the Philippines to default on its foreign debts as its credit rating remains manageable and has enough dollar reserves. This is the second dollar-denominated offering for 2022 and the first under President Marcos. Meanwhile, Marcos claims his administration was able to achieve a, quote, functional government with the best and brightest officials during his first 100 days in office. Speaking before the Manila Overseas Press Club, President Marcos said that 100 days into his 6-year term, he was able to put together a government that is driven to reach economic targets. The president also touted his visits to ASEAN countries like Singapore and Indonesia, saying these allowed him to show the world where the Philippines is headed economically.
We bring the best and the brightest, and we do not look at color in terms of political color. I think we have done that.
To reach economic targets, President Marcos said his government has already started to address supply issues, specifically on sugar and fertilizer, by as early as his first 50 days in office. He says his government is also looking into non-traditional sources of these commodities, like Russia.
Senator Kit just brought up also this foreign policy between Ukraine and Russia, and we take a very balanced view, because the truth of the matter is we may have to deal with Russia for fuel, for fertilizer.
Arian Kalumbiran, we are One News.
More stories after this short break. Stay with us here on One News. One News Now, I'm Jess De Los Santos. Higher petroleum prices are expected next week after OPEC announced its biggest oil production cut since the onset of the pandemic. Camille Samonte with the story.
Members of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, and its allies have agreed to cut oil production by 2 million barrels per day. This is equivalent to 2% of the global oil supply, the biggest oil production cut since the pandemic. OPEC's de facto leader, Saudi Arabia, said the cut of 2 million barrels per day was necessary due to rising interest rates in the West and a weaker global economy. This comes despite pleas from the U.S. and other countries to pump more after oil prices spiked due to supply disruptions from the Russia-Ukraine war. In a statement, the White House said that U.S. President Joe Biden was disappointed by the short-sighted decision. In the past months, oil prices have gone down due to decreasing global demand. But because of the oil production cut, petroleum prices are expected to go up once again after 5 consecutive weeks of price rollback.
Biglaan po ang desisyon nila ay magbabawas sila ng 2 million barrels per day. Ito'y napakalaki po kumpara doon sa nauna nilang testing noong October na 100,000 barrels lang. So, ito'y inaasahan po natin na magpupos po nung reverse ng trend. Instead na rollback,
gasoline prices are expected to go up next week by 1 peso per liter. 4 peso increase is expected for diesel. Kerosene prices are also expected to go up by 2 pesos. Senate President Mig Zubiri has expressed his concern over the cut in oil production, which will likely push commodity prices higher. Inflation remains elevated at 6.9% in September, the highest in 4 years.
That's unfair to non-oil producing countries. Kawawang-kawawa tayo dyan. Sa binanggit po nilang controls of 2 million barrels a day less output, it will affect the prices of fuel, which will again increase our pump prices on a local level. And it will trigger inflationary.
For News 5, Camille Samonte, We Are One News.
NBA superstar LeBron James says he wants to own an NBA expansion team in Las Vegas. The LA Lakers forward made the appeal to Commissioner Adam Silver in an interview after their preseason game against the Phoenix Suns held in Las Vegas. The 37-year-old is part owner of the baseball team Boston Red Sox and the Liverpool Football Club. Under NBA rules, a player is not allowed to have an ownership interest in an NBA club until he retires. James had just signed a 2-year extension with the Lakers until 2025. Here's a quick look at today's other top stories. The Philippine National Police has identified a person of interest in the killing of radio broadcaster Percy Lapid. A 1.5 million peso cash reward will also be given to anyone who can provide information leading to the suspect's arrest. The Foreign Affairs Department says no Filipino was hurt in the deadly shooting in Thailand. More than 35 people, mostly children, died after an ex-policeman opened fire at a daycare center in Nongbua, Lampu Province. And the Education Department is looking to extend blended learning beyond November. This is after the agency confirmed that COVID-19 infections have been recorded in some schools. Damage from Super Typhoon Karding has also forced some schools to return to blended learning. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Jess De Los Santos. We are One News.